on a journey deeper into some of the key titles we've talked about before, but we're going to talk about them in a different way tonight, a deeper way, so you can learn about what's going on with these games and what's coming up in the future. You know, what we look at here at Worldwide Studios with inside Sony Interactive Entertainment, we really want to take our love for gaming and make it sing and make it sing very loudly. We really want to, it's a gaming industry in some sense, but certainly inside our studios, we see gaming as a vocation and make it sing very loudly. It's a calling. We really want to, it's a gaming industry in some sense, but certainly inside our studios, we see gaming as a vocation and make it sing very loudly. It's a calling. We really want to, it's a gaming industry in some sense, that's what we're trying to do here at PlayStation. This coming year is going to be all about those kind of games that we can deliver to you in a way that's going to blow your minds. And tonight, we're beginning here in this tent, this church tent we've created here in Los Angeles to let you start that journey with us and let us tell you
gamers, we're joining in live right now with the press conference underway.
So, without further ado, it is my great honor and my unique privilege to invite to the stage, introduce to you, Gustavo Santaolalla.
Ah, starting with The Last of Us?
Love this guy's skills, man. What's up, Optic? Welcome, buddy.
Yeah, the soundtrack to The Last of Us is incredible.
Six-string banjo, interesting.
I know that song. That was pretty badass how they just dropped that bass in there.
That is a weird setting for this thing, man. Good ass music, though. Oh, dude, nothing's going to be any weirder than Andrew W.K., Jacob. I can tell you that right now.
It's true. Yeah, getting right to it, baby.
Oh, so here's why it's the setting. I get it now.
That Ellie.
looks like her. She's older.
Almost that mature Ellen Page she was always meant to be. That's Death and Walking Dead.
I hate these things.
Tell me about it.
Your old man really laid into me today.
What happened?
Another big lecture about my patrols. Don't go here, don't go there. It's funny how involved he gets whenever you're scheduled to go out.
Yeah.
She's putting on quite the show.
I give you guys 2 weeks until you're back together.
Not gonna happen.
Now that attitude.
Say something, dude?
Make it 1 week. Ellie! Hey! What took you so long? Oh,
Later,
here,
Jacob.
aren't
Tina?
I? Jesse.
Hey, don't forget we leave at first light, so get some rest.
Yes, sir.
Such a dick. Come on. Why don't you start with me? Okay, I have a very serious question for you. How bad do I smell? Like a hot pile of garbage?
Oh.
Okay. Oh. How about that? Gross. You love it. Every guy in this room is staring at you right now. Maybe they're staring at you. Or not. Maybe they're jealous of you. I'm just a girl, not a threat. Oh, Ellie. I think they should be terrified.
Yeah, you should be terrified of her.
That's
Ah.
this looks pretty amazing.
Looks really good, that's for sure.
They are nasty with sin. What is free? Holy shit! No! No! No!
Clearly not a bender joint.
Oh,
I already knew that guy.
Oh, yeah, that's really not a bender joint.
Spread out.
Yeah, that's gross.
Oh, he did.
Shit.
Oh no.
Oh. God, I love the running in The Last of Us.
She went into the grass. Watch yourself. Ethan.
What?
Wolf. She came through here.
Wolf says this is definitely not for me.
I agree, man.
Oh no.
Hope you don't like your kneecaps.
Oh man, right in the
Or your
face.
Yeah.
Oh.
Mash square. Mash it.
Oh.
Only have one bullet left.
Oh, damn.
Throw your gun at him.
Oh.
Jeez.
Oh, damn.
Wow.
Expendable.
Same.
Oh. We should make a different arrow tip.
Yep.
Explosive, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
Ah.
Oh damn, he's got that. Wow. Oh,
Yes.
grab him. Oh!
Oh.
Staggered. Save it. Oh!
Hey, look at that.
I think he did.
Woo.
Wow.
That's she was thinking about all that while they were kissing.
Terrifying.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Cut that guy's head off.
Nice.
Yeah, killing people turns me on.
Kind of gets me
Yes.
going.
Yes.
That one's all yours, Piccolo.
I'll take it, baby.
That's awesome. They basically recreated that room in here. That is really cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
All right, here we go.
Man.
Cool if there was a different room for every trailer they showed.
That'd be kind of funny.
That was a new look at The Last of Us Part 2. We're here live in Los Angeles at the PlayStation E3 showcase. We're taking a quick intermission while folks move along to the next part of the experience. We'll have a little bit more to share.
Next room.
Next room.
And I am joined by my good friend, Ryan Clements.
Hello, Mr. Schumann.
How are you?
I'm good. It's such a pleasure to be here at the PlayStation Showcase. And it's going to be a huge night for Worldwide Studios a little later when the showcase resumes. And what better guest to have for joining us about Worldwide Studios than the chairman of Worldwide Studios, Mr. Sean Layden. Hello,
guys.
sir.
Yeah, good to be here.
I thought you were just on stage. How did you get up here so fast?
We created this pneumatic tube that I was dropped into and
flung
shot
right-
right across to the studio here.
Right
He had
over
a
here.
10-minute
Well,
trailer
it's
to
good
get
Well, it's great
there.
to
What are
be
you
here,
talking
and I
about?
think that was a very powerful start for our E3 program for this year.
That's right, and there's much more to come, but I do want to zero in on The Last of Us Part 2 here just for a moment. You know, as chairman of Worldwide Studios, you work very closely with Naughty Dog. These guys need no introduction.
Indeed.
And I'm curious, from your perspective, where is their head at when it comes to developing this game?
Where's their head at? I mean, they are everywhere. They're looking at what can do in the next iteration of the Last of Us series, and I think what we saw tonight, I mean, that piece of content was so impactful. I mean, the whole relationship between Ellie and Dina going into the combat sequence really shows that they're pulling out all the stops over at Naughty Dog, and they're going to have a very broad and ranging game that's not going to make you only work at it as a player, but you're going to have to just think as a person what you're coming up against.
I can't wait to see more of that. And that was first gameplay we saw there of The Last of Us Part 2, looking obviously incredible. And speaking of incredible, I mean, Worldwide Studios lately, I mean, it's just been unbelievable. Horizon, you had God of War, which needs no introduction, and Detroit Become Human. I mean, what is the secret, and what are you doing over there at Worldwide Studios? What's going on there?
The rule number one is do no harm, right? Right. In a lot of ways, my job is just to move the boulders out of the road to make sure that creative talent can get where they need to go. You know, provide backup, provide scope, you know, provide generalized, you know, advice about where we can take this as an industry and as a gaming culture. But honestly, we've got 13 studios worldwide. We try to give them as much creative control as possible and just help support them through to their vision. That's kind of what we've been trying to do here for the last dozen years or so with Worldwide Studios. And I think right now, certainly in the PS4 era, you're seeing a lot of that coming into play right now.
That's great to hear that. And, you know, I mean, speaking about making fans happy, I mean, I think there's a question that I've been getting a whole lot, and it has to do with God of War. You know, this is a celebrated game. It's sold extremely well. It has a huge legion of fans. And one of the things I wanted to mention was, you know, I get a lot of tweets about New Game Plus. You know, is this something that you and Santa Monica Studio are evaluating for God of War?
You know, it's crazy. With the advent of social media, we get a lot of real-time feedback from the fans and the community, and we listen to that. And God knows my Twitter feed is filled up with a lot of stuff that we could talk about here or not talk about at all. But it's all important. We take it all seriously. And New Game Plus is something that came through really strong and really hard through that kind of feedback loop. And I'm happy to say today that the teams are working on it, and we should have some more updates on that. We'll put that through the blog, but it's going to happen.
All right.
Definitely.
As someone who miraculously finished God of War with a 2-year-old at home, that makes me very happy. I will somehow find more time.
But okay.
I will find time to He wasn't watching.
Okay, thank God.
I want to confirm that.
Kids don't try this at home.
Asleep. But yeah, thank you so much, Sean. And it's great to hear that you and the amazing team at Santa Monica Studio are making that happen.
Hey, if we can create functionality and features that allow people to spend more time in the worlds we build, that's by definition a good thing.
Excellent.
Fantastic. So New Game Plus, that is confirmed. It is coming to God of War. We'll have full details on PlayStation Blog shortly. we have a lot more to talk about too.
Yeah, and actually, Sean, I wanted to ask you about that. About a month ago, you did something a little bit out of the ordinary for our team, and you kind of came out and talked about the 4 main games that we would be highlighting tonight's PlayStation Showcase. I was wondering what the thought process was there.
Well, you know, every year we try to let the stories we have to tell design the experience we're going to create. And this year we felt that what we really wanted to do is take people on a journey deep into the content, deep into the 4 big pillar games that we're working on right now, and get them to see a bit more about the stories we're trying to tell and the way it's going to be expressed and what they get out of it. It's a really wide range of titles there, anything from The Last of Us 2, which we just saw right now, through Death Stranding and Spider-Man and Ghost. So this year I wanted people to know that don't come here expecting to have some big flashy new idea come out or some big surprise come out. Come here and sit with us and walk with us as we get through to see the background stories and deep inside of the games we're working on.
Wonderful. And we do have a lot more coming from those Worldwide Studios games in the showcase later tonight. Do you have any personal games that you're most excited about?
Well, they're all fabulous, and I think the teams are really crushing it right across the board. But,
Fair enough.
But one thing I would say is there's one of the games that we're having out today that will be playable in 3 months and available in stores, and that's our favorite web slinger.
Of course.
Spider-Man. So we're going to see a lot of that tonight, and I think the folks at home should be happy with what they're going to get.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean.
Sean, thank you so much for dropping by. Always a pleasure to trade notes with the chairman of Worldwide Studios.
It's great to see you guys. I'll head back to the pneumatic tube station then.
All right, please do.
All right.
And
wear the helmet.
We do have a lot more in store coming up in just a few minutes as the E3 showcase continues. But in the meantime, we also have some other updates for you while we wait during this short intermission. So I say we kick it off with a look at the latest from the world of Call of Duty.
Yay! I thought we were gonna have. Oh, we might have it. Sniper Elite bullet kill cams.
Summit.
Am I crunching loud enough?
Can you crunch louder, please? Let me turn down the show so I can hear your
slums.
There's the crunch.
Oh. Aw, man, firing range sucked.
It was a super long range shot.
They all suck.
Get immediate access to Back in Black maps in Call of Duty Black Ops 3 only when you pre-order Call of Duty Black Ops 4 from PlayStation Store.
That was confusing.
Welcome back. We are having the PlayStation E3 showcase kicking off in just a few more minutes. We're in a short intermission period here, but we've got some good stuff to talk about. And we've got some good friends as well.
Yeah.
Meredith Molinari and Ramon Russell. Welcome.
What's happening?
That's
good
right.
to have you guys back.
It's good to be back.
Friendly faces right before the showcase.
Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent.
So I say we keep this moving here. And when it comes to Call of Duty, we know that a bunch of remastered maps from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 are making their way to Call of Duty Black Ops 4 this October on launch day. But what we just learned here is that those maps, those classic maps, are coming to Black Ops 3 as well for those who pre-order Black Ops 4 on PlayStation Store.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. But what if I don't own Call of Duty Black Ops 3?
Well, that's where it gets a little more interesting, my friend.
Oh.
So tonight, we are actually doing a surprise PlayStation Plus game drop.
What?
That is going to be Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is coming to PlayStation Plus later tonight.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes, very nice. This is why I love E3, because not only do we get to share awesome news with our audience, but PlayStation Plus subscribers get a little treat.
Get a little
extra tasty treat.
Right, little mid E3 supply drop for you there.
Perfect.
You know, we've been sharing a lot of good news. We got to share 5 really cool announcements last week when we did our countdown, kind of ramping up for tonight's big showcase.
That's right. We had the countdown to E3, and that was 5 game reveals and updates over a span of 5 days. A lot of great stuff announced. Let's take a quick look back at the highlights.
Did you guys watch that Tetris trailer?
Yeah.
Man,
it's crazy.
I seriously did not blink when I watched that entire thing, dude. I was seriously so zoned in on it. That was awesome.
Man, I love that music. I'm gonna laugh if they just change the date to March 22nd, just right now.
Oh yeah, we had a little mistake. We wrote the wrong date, March 22nd.
What is this? I have to figure out what happened. Okay, wake up, focus, remember.
From the creators of Fee and
I want to play this. This looks cool.
Yeah.
comes a heartfelt story in VR.
But really, who are you?
And this one too.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
Crazy dude. Saber. Saber.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We're just a few
Dude,
minutes away from
moving
the
people
E3
around from one
PlayStation
area
showcase.
to
I mean,
another for
when I
all
say a few
four of
minutes,
these?
I mean, we're really. So let's keep moving here.
not.
There was a lot of great stuff
Looks
here.
like it.
Oh,
Dude,
we
I'm
can
gonna
see
be
the
pissed.
crowd is seated. The people are about ready to go. This show's about to continue, about to move into the big event.
Yeah, it was great to see the countdown stuff, but I do think that there's like maybe one more thing we can sneak in there before we cut away to the showcase.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, let's squeeze it in.
Well,
Let's squeeze it in.
Squeeze it in.
Okay, so
Firewall
this
Zero.
next franchise boasts a huge loyal community of nearly 6 billion hours. Incredible.
Sounds like
stat.
Destiny
Yeah, they
2.
play that so much.
A lot.
They do. And we're going to take a first look at the next chapter right now.
That was Cade.
There he is. Looks rough.
Yeah, buddy.
A lonesome star.
Oh, hey.
I hear the hungry ghosts calling out in the night.
Scorn.
Just a couple victims of this brutal pride.
Oh, is that the prince?
Am I strong?
Yeah,
It is
that's,
him,
that's,
isn't it?
That's old. That's Aldrin.
Things just die.
There we go.
Knew he was.
We knew he was
with the
somewhere.
Fallen.
We knew he was somewhere.
Damn.
What gun did he have? It had a spade
I don't
on
know.
it. It had a spade on it.
Ace,
Looks
ace,
like he had
ace
Cade's
of
gun.
spade. Yeah, the ace of spades.
But if there's nothing
He took Cade's
on
gun.
the other side,
Killed him. Prince is back.
Prince Aldrin.
He's the only character I cared about.
can I leave well enough alone and go to the light?
Now he's going to be Cade 7.
Man, what the hell?
Man.
That
hell
was a
of a way to
powerful new
introduce
look
the
at
story.
Destiny 2.
I don't know how I feel
Forsaken's
about
coming
that.
out September 4th on PS4. A lot of great enhancements and content for that one. And
Yeah, it looks really good. There's a lot of buzz about that Gambit mode coming up, and guess what? If you're at E3, you can play it at our booth.
Gambit
not too
sounds so
bad.
good.
But
not too bad.
there's barely any time because we're about to get to the showcase.
That's right. We are really seconds away when it comes down to it from the rest of PlayStation's E3 showcase. Thank you so much for watching. We've got a lot more in store
Sounds
tonight.
like this is the only move they're gonna make.
but
Thankfully.
I hope
for
so.
now,
Hope so.
I think it's almost time.
I think
go.
it's almost time.
Yes,
Should we
it
get
is.
to it?
I think why keep people waiting? Let's get to it. We have so much more to
Okay.
cover.
Okay. Got a lot more in store. So let's check it
Are you
out.
done stalling
live
now?
Right now.
Ah, girl.
Oh boy, here you go, Frankie.
Yeah, that's a badass screen there they got.
I want to get that downstairs.
Yeah.
Couldn't get an Asian guy to play that.
Shut up, Bender.
Yeah, look at that vista.
He's the Jimi Hendrix of the Asian flute.
Jacob says, "Shut up, Bender. He's 3% Asian."
3%.
Like plot twist, it's Death Stranding. Girl.
I don't want to see it from here. I want to watch it on the big screen. Pan back. Pan back.
Shut up. Shut up right now.
Temple's close.
Right there.
There we go.
Mongol
Gameplay.
invasion.
Day 9. And once again, just get the grass.
Like all this stuff, I know it looks great here, but I want to see this stuff with HDR. You know this is just going to melt your face.
Yeah. Especially with that vista on the horizon there.
Uh-huh. Wow. Consume grasslands.
Place looks huge.
Nobu, come.
Man, look at that.
Man, looks so good.
Oh, man. I love it when they pay attention to the detail, how the world around you reacts to you plowing through.
Yeah, I mean, look at the birds and the... Jeez.
Where are they?
This is combat.
Enough! Next samurai.
Samurai.
Oh
shit!
That's my artery, bro.
Carving them up.
This will be M-rated.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Oh, I love slow down. Oh. Oh, his arm. Oh.
Just a flesh wound.
Oh, his arm.
It's merely a flesh wound. Oh, he did.
Jin, you're late.
I don't need your help, Mom.
Where's the monk?
The bastards beat me to him.
Oh, not
now
with
they're
it on my
torturing
shirt.
him at the temple.
Come on.
You think the monk's a hero?
We need him, Masako. Down.
We can take them.
No. Remember Sago Bridge. We strike quietly. And they kill the monk.
Just rip his throat out. You didn't need that Adam's apple.
I'll guard the exits. Just get that monk.
Dark, there would no be one-upping. I would just dominate.
Oh, nice.
Look at this game. Are you serious?
Please, I do not understand.
Death from above. Death from above. Yes, death from above. Is he marking?
There's quite a few guys in there.
Oh.
Oh.
Did it slow it down?
Yeah. Slow it down. Oh. Guy behind you. Blaster. Oh.
Oh my God! Another bender joint.
Reinforcements. We have to move. Oh! Damn. Masako!
Oh.
Stand aside, Jin. You betrayed my family.
Run! If we fight, Mongols win.
They already won.
Showdown?
Damn. I mean, seriously, will you look at this setting? Man.
It looks incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Who's gonna draw first? Oh, all right, there's your answer.
Give me
Oh.
Frankie, is she changing stances like in For Honor?
Looks like
coming? That's our enemy.
Oh man, things just got real.
Shit.
Damn. Franklin, how you feeling, buddy?
Woo. Gotta get fucking wait for that game. Yeah.
That looked really, really
That
good.
looked That was awesome. I love like the cinematic showdown too.
Yes, that was epic, dude.
Awesome.
Dreams?
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, I said Made in Dreams.
Oh, nice. Or not.
This, however, is definitely not.
Yeah, this is not Made in Dreams.
The oldest house is a shifting place. There are rules and rituals. You can keep traveling deeper.
Might this be a Remedy's game?
This looks like, I was just gonna say, this had like almost vibes of like Quantum Break. Dude, that looks a lot like Quantum Break, dude.
It does, yeah.
That's yeah, it's gotta be.
Control.
Control. It's gotta be by Remedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
Yep.
Dude, that looked a lot like Quantum Break. Control.
That actress looked familiar too. I couldn't place her though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You a mouse here?
PSVR game. That's a PS1.
Yeah, it is.
That's pizza.
Pizza Rat, the game.
This is a VR game. It looks really good.
It's like Mouse Hunt.
Hey, you look to be a small creature of some sort.
It's a mouse. Oh no! Well, mouse is dead.
Oh.
Officer, you need help? What are you doing? Get off! No!
Aw.
Get off of me!
Didn't make it.
Jeez.
Oh.
Oh.
Resident Evil?
Oh my god, yes. Please be the Resident Evil 2 remake and give Frankie a point. Is it?
Yeah. That is.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, there you go.
Oh. Yes! Leon.
Jesus Christ.
Money's in my account. Always a pleasure.
Attention, all citizens. Due to the citywide outrage.
And don't make my mistake. If you see one of those things, uniform or not, you do not hesitate.
Whatever it takes to save this city.
Surprised you made it this far.
Need info on my extraction.
Crazy to see this game looking like
Survival's
this.
your responsibility.
I remember walking through those streets. Gloriness.
Will you help me?
Of course. It's an impressive display of strength.
But we never meant for this to happen.
Oof.
It's coming. It's coming back.
RE2, Frankie.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, there you go. Something in January, Frankie.
Oh my gosh. It's coming out early 2019.
Pre-order today.
Wow. What was the date on that? 25th?
25th.
January 25th.
Wow.
Must just be these interstitials that they're showing that are in dreams.
It's cool that they're doing that. Yeah.
From Squanch Games and the co-creator of Rick and Morty.
Ooh.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bathtub Guy. We're here at E3 to take some looks at this new game I'm going to show you right now. Trover Saves the Universe. Let's give it a look. Oh, whoa, there's some action platform stuff.
Yeah, Counting Plus is awesome.
I'm the bathtub guy. I'm always in my bathtub, but, you know, that's not about me right now. It's about this game. Whoa, look at that. That's exciting footage I just saw. Oh, I'm playing it right now. Look at me. I'm a cool cucumber over here playing this cool game. Jesus Christ! Oh my God! Somebody call 711 because that's the emergency dial number for this in this weird part of the galaxy. Because this is a sci-fi based thing. Help! He's got electrocuted.
Trover Wave saves the universe.
Like it.
Now that's gonna be playable in VR too.
Yep.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts.
Again. Yay. Is it going to be the same trailer?
Yep.
No, it's different.
No, it's different, yeah?
It's different.
Yeah, it is different.
It was Frozen before.
Yep. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Because we get to be pirates again.
Yep, you always did.
Oh, Dark Shadow Wolf's going nuts.
Still, it's a real shame we don't have a bigger ship.
It's a shame. No way.
Captain Jack.
Jack's. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm.
Man, they got Orlando Bloom in there too?
Orlando
Bloom.
Barbosa.
Orlando Broomstick. He has the acting prowess of a broom.
Yeah. You got the full naval combat in here?
Oh, wow.
There's been so much whining on Twitter because they don't have the sound effects in the game, in the trailers. Shocking that they would be whining on Twitter.
No way.
Yeah.
You back in the organization?
Yes. Surprising, isn't it?
Jack, don't you give this creep the time of day.
Sora, stand down. It's the code. Mustn't strike a pirate aboard ship when said pirate offers to confabulate.
I'm looking for a box.
Get them!
Sora!
They have come
Hercules.
for us.
Wait!
Oh no!
Stop!
Farewell.
Arendelle is safer with me staying up here.
Oh,
Please, go away.
And the unversed collected enough screams and sadness from those children.
Yeah, and the whole time they were trashing our company in the process.
Yeah, they got some sweet worlds in this one.
Maybe she's one of the 7 pure lights we need. The new 7 hearts.
No.
How long do these games typically last to play through?
And at the end, you'll finally realize
They're pretty long.
destiny
Yeah.
has in store
30, 40 hours. Yeah.
Wolf will be back momentarily, guys. He's got to go change his pants, he said.
Yeah.
Take your time, Wolf. Maybe take a shower, too.
Hey, liking the look. Cut your hair, too.
This is another one of those games that people are super hyped for. That I never played it, so I'm just like, oh, this looks cool. Everyone's like, oh my god.
Oh.
Ooh.
Kind of cool.
We're going to see the Spider-Man one tonight, Bender?
I hope so. I forgot about that until just now.
You'll have to go change your pants.
Yeah.
If you were even wearing any. Wink, wink.
You'll never know.
Ooh.
Oh. Wow.
Oh, you get all of them? Well, it's probably a bundle. Yeah.
There we go. Alright, can we get a coherent trailer here so we know what the hell's going on?
Nope.
The man who delivers.
Moment of truth. Are we going to see gameplay? Or is it just another trailer?
I'm pretty sure he hasn't actually started working on this game yet.
It's a trailer that will lead to gameplay.
Like me. What's your level?
I've got the extinction factor, but I think you got me beat.
You can see them, right?
No, but I can sense them.
Want to come work for me? Must be tough out here on your own.
I can't help you with that. I make deliveries. That's all.
This is gameplay.
It's definitely gameplay.
Yeah, that's definitely gameplay. Putting that engine to use, too.
Yeah, working out that Decima engine.
Is that a person?
I'm gonna guess that's a body. Jesus, that looks really good.
So is this game just about Norman Reedus wandering around the world?
Wander the sequel confirmed.
He makes deliveries, that's all he does.
He's like the human version of Wall-E, just picks stuff up and takes it back to a shack. Oh, there we go. Oh. Nope, wouldn't do that. I'd find a way around.
Who the hell's ordering this stuff?
Right. They don't have drones yet? Ah, don't take the nail off, you dick. Ah! Give me your hand and knife. That's a go from Mission Impossible 4.
Does she have a Fragile sticker on her back?
She does.
Is she in the box?
Hey, she's he's delivering her. Give me a hand of death.
Headed into town. Watch yourself. Those things never stay gone for long. The timefall fast forwards whatever it touches. But it can't wash everything away. The past just won't let go. I'll see you around. Sandport Bridges.
Sam, what's your status? Chiralium density is still increasing.
My status is fucked. There's tons of them.
Can you sit out the rain?
No. They're closing in on my position. I have to move before they realize I'm in here.
Sam, if one of those things eats you, it'll trigger a void out. You'll come back, sure, but the surrounding area will still be a crater.
I got an idea.
Baby power.
Tap into this kid. Would not go out there. Nope, going back inside. Yep, see you guys. Still don't know what this
Still
game
have
is.
no idea what this game is.
I mean, that was badass. It looked great. I just...
A quick bite a day keeps the time fall away.
Ew.
Oh, there you go. Mm. Yeah, that's the girl from Mission Impossible 4.
You're too late.
Say do.
You still don't know who I am, do you?
Yeah, you're the girl from Mission Impossible 4. That's not the girl from Mission Impossible 4. Oh yeah, this is just Kojima through and through. Huh. Okay.
At least we saw some gameplay. Finally.
More Neo? Yep. Yeah, love seeing that stage.
I am seriously
going to show you that there's fire on both sides of the screen.
I'm seriously going to put my name in to produce these shows.
Ooh.
Oh, Neo 2.
Oh. Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
All right.
Yep, Dark Shadow Wolf called it.
Say February 22nd. Say February 22nd.
Death defies you.
No date?
No date.
How long has Neo been out?
Came out last February, right?
So I guess it's coming up on 2 years.
These dreams are goofy, man. Oh, what's this?
Oh.
The raft?
Boy, this seems like a Rocksteady game.
Boy, it does, doesn't it?
Oh, ah, damn it. Spider-Man.
Oh.
So the show's over then, right?
It was. Let's go.
Oh, there's no sound effects. No.
Love the optimism. But in my experience,
Electro.
when it looks bad, it's
Spidey.
usually worse.
Whoop!
Look out!
I'm slipping.
Hold on!
Oh.
You okay?
Yeah.
Welcome to the party. Just in time for the fireworks. Looks like we made parole, boys.
Electro, why is he letting everyone out?
I'll head for the main control center and see how bad the situation is.
Got it. I'll go join the party. Everyone just quietly go back into your cells and lock the door behind you. Okay? Please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Love how fluid this combat is. It's so awesome.
Get him. Get him.
That doesn't sound good.
Oh, wow. Rhino.
Oh.
Oh, hi, Rhino.
Hope you like surprise.
Oh, nice. They got like his ultimate version.
Surprise.
I was hoping for the Amazing Spider-Man 2 version. I am the Rhino!
Just trapped in a prison with every criminal I put away in the last 8 years.
Ooh.
Scorpion.
Electro must be working for someone.
This is too good to be true.
Scorpion, can you hold on a minute? I was in the middle of a phone call and it was business.
Like Ultimate Villains trailer.
Yeah.
Don't let up.
Lost you for a second there.
Oh,
You okay?
Man, yeah, this combat looks sweet.
yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he just now touched the ground for taking all like 3 dudes.
Love how he slides underneath their legs.
I'll keep tracking Electro.
Oh!
Yes. Love it.
Come on, Spider-Man. I thought this was a chase.
Gotta stop this guy.
Wow.
If you tell me who you're working for, I'll go easy on you. Can't stop
Man, boys, I cannot wait for you to not play this game.
What I tell you about that stuff? You stop putting that out in the world, alright? You stop it.
Got him, coach.
Oh, and the Vulture.
Vulture,
Keeping the villains rolling.
We're going to have so much fun.
Sorry, no time to talk.
Man.
I got
This is nuts.
This is so incredibly awesome. I'm gonna have to change my pants, Herman.
That makes 5 of your worst enemies that are now on the loose.
For a second there, I thought you were serious.
I am serious. I have to go. Some of them are heading into the city.
This is nuts.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Keep chasing. Party's almost over.
I love how he wall runs like that. That just looks
Yeah.
so awesome. How it transitions to it.
I mean, jeez.
Oh.
This music is awesome too.
Electro, stop! How do you like my new suit? Dashing. Where'd you get it? It's an exclusive club.
Sinister Six. Mr. Negative.
Remember, he said not to kill him. Good idea. In fact, we don't have to do this at all if you don't want to.
We definitely want to.
What? Oh, got him. Father, why?
You?
What was it?
Oh.
Such a tease.
Give me that game! God.
Shut up and take my money.
Man.
Where's that PS4 Pro?
I know, man.
That's it? We're done?
I'm guessing that's going to be it.
Like the sizzle reel.
You've seen the big four.
Not hesitate.
So is Dreams now just a game to segment E3?
Yeah.
That was the PlayStation E3 showcase. A lot to take in. There was a ton of great worldwide studios titles. We actually got a little more to share here coming right up. We're going to have first live gameplay of Marvel's Spider-Man right here, just a couple of minutes. We have a new game to announce. We have some other stuff to talk about, too. What a show.
Oh, my gosh.
Top highlights, go.
Oh. There's no time.
Oh, my goodness. Ghost of Tsushima looked absolutely incredible. That color palette was insane.
Yeah.
Did you grow up with samurai movies?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ready. It's just the embodiment.
I'm ready.
Isn't
Sucker
that-
punch.
yeah.
Thank you.
Meredith.
Oh, Resident Evil 2. Come on,
Yeah.
RE2. That looked so good. I know a lot of us fans have been waiting for that one. And there was like a moment where you're like, I'm not really sure I know what this is. And then as soon as he turned his head, I was like, yes!
And you get that,
So
was Frankie.
So good.
RE4 style over-the-shoulder camera action. That's kind of like the ultimate dream if they were going to remake Resident Evil 2. That's what I would want. So awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Ryan?
Nice and gory.
As Meredith said backstage, Death Stranding. We now have more questions.
Yes,
more questions.
More
But
questions.
It looks as if, I mean, I don't want to make any promises, but it looks as if we were getting kind of an allusion to a lot of gameplay in there, and kind of what the character of Sam is going to be doing in this very unusual world that is inhabited by some very unusual and scary things.
And people consume strange and unusual
bugs.
That was...
Babies continue to be a theme.
Yeah, that wasn't a myth.
Don't know what we're going to find out there, but yeah.
So a ton of great stuff in the show overall. I mean, Neo 2, that was a crowd pleaser. That was one that was great to see get out there. We got an update on Kingdom Hearts 3. We got a lot of other great stuff. We had a new Remedy game. Remedy's on the way. Control. Really stylish trailer. Really looking to just, I want to learn more about that one. I mean, it just looks like wizards and like, I don't know what I was looking at there, but it was really stylish. I would expect no less from Remedy. But I got to say, I think my favorite was Marvel's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man looked
that was incredible. We have these legendary villains are back. We had Rhino, Electro,
Scorpion.
Vulture. I'm missing some. Who else were there? I mean, just one after another. That was Electro.
Spider-Man was not in a good space.
No, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. So we're going to see live gameplay of that in just a minute or two here. But I say we actually take this moment to announce a new game. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Do it.
So nonchalant.
Hits keep coming.
Yeah.
So you guys know From Software.
Absolutely.
I'm aware of them.
They have created a lot of great games over the year. Well, they have been busy working on a PlayStation VR game.
Oh, VR.
And it is quite a departure from the kinds of games that we sort of know them for. But it's very, very interesting. And I'd like to see the first footage of that right now.
Okay.
Aren't you excited? You're going to be a fairy. And live in the world where time stands still. Where nobody can see what you're up to ever again.
What? That's being made by From?
Okay, Decine, that's From Software's new title coming to PlayStation VR. Quite a departure, very artistic. Still don't know a ton
nothing
about
like
how
anything
it
they've ever
plays
done.
yet, but certainly a compelling debut, I would say. And speaking of compelling, let's get to that Spider-Man.
All right, we'll finish up the Spider-Man demo here, and then we'll get to our reaction. So we'll watch this trailer, and then we'll this gameplay, and then we'll hop in.
I have to say, first of all, thank you guys for giving us your time.
Happy to be here.
And also, congratulations, kind of closing out some of the show there with Marvel Spider-Man. How does it feel?
It's surreal. We've been working on it for a while.
Show us the Pro.
It's
Show
nice
us the PS4 Pro.
Be here, and obviously we showed you. People wanted villains, so we decided we'll give you a lot of villains. And now, and the next question is, can we play the open world? And Adam's gonna show off the New York City.
I mean, I don't know, Sid. What do you think?
Let's dive in.
Yeah,
What are we talking about here? Get in there.
We're going to boot up the demo here, and this is essentially one of the first playable demos that you guys are going to be showing off.
Yeah,
of Spider-Man.
pretty much. So, I mean, if you think about,
Go ahead, Adam.
the game is, you know, a lot of people are like, last year's E3 was like, well, was that like just a linear level? No, like that was our Manhattan, that's our New York City, and it happens to be on like a main story mission. But in between, like something like
got a hot mic.
Showed that back in last E3. you can just swing around
Cut the mic.
New York City and have
They're
fun.
picking up the janitor's walkie-talkie.
We have it running here on the main monitor. We'll go to it in just a second. This is the beauty of the live environment.
Yeah, this. Oh God.
This is great. I got my own little TV. This is perfect.
Yeah, I got it all.
Adam's doing a fantastic job so far. It's been really good.
So first of all, you're actually playing this.
Well, their entire audio department just went to shit.
Emphasize how beautiful this game is.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, Brian, tell me a little bit about what you guys want to show us.
They switched shifts and brought in tech from the
I
Microsoft show
think
to run the audio.
The Spider-Man fantasy is to swing around New York City and to have not only just a great story but have a bunch of different activities in that world. And we wanted to.
You guys notice that when somebody's about to attack,
it's
it's like his spidey sense kicks off around his head.
Obviously, it's a big narrative-driven experience, but at the same time, part of that superhero fantasy, especially that Spider-Man experience, is living within New York City and seeing that. So, Adam is one of he's one of our
literally
combat
not
pro
even listening to
players.
anything this guy says, just
he's
watching
a combat
gameplay.
designer, and again, he's just showing off some really awesome stuff that. As you get better with the game, obviously, we wanted to have a pick up and play feel, but at the same time, have the level of mastery and to really show off the improvisation that we've really been talking about a lot since we announced the game.
I'm digging this, like sticking dudes to walls and to the floor and stuff. That looks really, really satisfying.
I mean, I think the thing that's been really fun in these last, I would say last 6 months since we got back from the holiday break was every week I feel like I'll take the game home or I'll be playing one night and then I'll come in and say, wow, guys, I didn't know you could do that. So I think there's a lot of that. There's that sandbox nature to it as well. So, I mean, obviously you can, we have, we're going to teach you mechanics, but we want you to experiment with, his acrobatics, his webs, his gadgets, his suit powers. So combining all that
Screech
stuff
like a hawk while
really
he does it.
allows for a lot of different gameplay and a lot of, Spider-Man's a very expressive character, and we want players to be able to express that, whether it's in commercial or in combat.
It's gorgeous.
Look how seamless that was. Just swing and then he catches the wall and runs.
Your studio has kind of been renowned for.
Yay, superhero landing!
Superhero landing confirmed.
I mean,
you can.
It's really hard on the knees.
Gives a little
really, like,
salute to the citizens.
I mean, I think animation's definitely been one of the hallmarks of our company. From Spyro to Ratchet to Sunset Overdrive.
Yep.
And I mean, I remember when the Sunset Overdrive reviews came out, one person actually wrote, it would be great to see Insomniac make a Spider-Man game. And I was like, see, we should make it.
And I think you waved your phone around to the whole studio.
Exactly. We took that kind of mentality and we just injected our personality, but also, what do people want, desire from a Spider-Man experience. So, it was really great as I remember probably around the end of the year, end of last year, someone wrote an article about the top things they want to see in Spider-Man. And they said they want to feel like an Insomniac game. So I think that's the thing we've been really layering on in this last year is to have that. It feels like an Insomniac game as much as it does a Spider-Man game.
And I love this traversal. I mean, just the fluidity of just moving over great distances very quickly. It looks like a lot of fun just moving around. And that's just a great game.
Okay, so so how I kind of said like experimenting, but like. Sometimes, I mean, game development, we're in meetings a lot, and then sometimes you just need to like take a break. And what I used to find myself
did that guy
doing
fall
was
off the roof and
just
not die?
swinging around New York City. It was almost like therapeutic. It's just kind of like
they mentioned
when
that
I play other games.
They're taking that stuff into account that Spider-Man doesn't kill people. He's supposed to web people as they fall off the building.
To swing around.
I didn't see no web.
Like
I didn't see him web that guy.
It's definitely one of those things that has that.
Hopefully there's some hate on there.
Pick and play feel, but we want players to have a level of mastery as they play and get
What was that? Hold on a second. Okay. Very interesting what you're saying there.
So like I said, Adam showed off, I think he showed off the tripwire. It's basically a gadget that you can either attach to a piece of geometry and the enemies walk by, they'll get like grabbed and sucked back. But you can also attach it to an enemy, and if an enemy walks by, they kind of slam into each other.
That is amazing. This is so cool. What's this focus meter about?
So the focus meter is basically, there's kind of a risk reward. As you build focus, you can use it to heal.
Sid's having a religious
It just looks incredible.
Okay, thank you. The team works really, really hard on it. Really, really hard.
Clearly.
And the idea is the focus is kind of a way to, it's a risk reward. Like I said, you can either heal yourself or you can kind of, if you fill up the bar a certain way, you can actually pull off a finishing move. So, as you play the game, you kind of say, well, do I want to
that guy's dead.
maybe heal myself real quick, or do I want to wait for that really extravagant move to kind of take the guy out instantly.
Got it.
Brian, a question for you is, obviously Spidey has, with his experience being under the mask for so many years now.
Yep,
in
8 years.
your story,
Just wrap
8
that
years.
guy up and
Thank
drop
you. You got to be
him.
precise.
I got it. One of the first questions I get is like, is it an origin story? I'm like, no. That was like, after we decided that the webs were definitely attached to the buildings, we decided it's not going to be an origin story.
But you know, back to the combat, I mean, Spidey's experience, he has access to a lot of different techniques and technologies. How do you balance out his experience with the fact that you don't want to overwhelm a player with options, right? You want to make it approachable.
You know, I really, that comes down to our combat team, our commercial team, and our designers, like Adam, and really going, okay, you know, kind of handing that stuff out over the course of the game, you know, finding those right spots where you kind of, okay, we're going to teach you how to punch and how to kick and how to punch guys up in the air and use your webs. But then we layer on things like gadgets and then the suits and the suit powers. And it's kind of giving over time. If we just, you know, one thing with something like E3, you know, we want you to feel great, right?
Okay.
But there's a lot to learn really quickly.
All right,
so we
are
just,
going
you know,
to switch
normal course
over.
development, we kind of find those spots in the game where it makes most sense to teach those mechanics. And then as the game goes on, we want you to master those because the game's going to get
Recap here.
Yeah, absolutely. Sid, what do you think?
Mr. Boyce, let's discuss what we saw tonight from PlayStation, buddy.
Let's get to it. All right. Whew. Damn it, Spider-Man.
He's all flustered.
All right, so
Damn it, Destiny.
obviously we just finished up the PlayStation showcase, so let's get into everything that was discussed here. So the show started off with the game I wanted to see the most. That's The Last of Us Part 2. So I thought that they were gonna do this at the end, but they not swinging with this thing. What is going on with my screen here? Okay. So they started off with a musical number from Gustavo. Is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Gustavo. Brent, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
A minute. I can't see. Can't see you. There you are.
Hey,
okay.
Hi, I'm here.
All right. So we started off with a musical number from Gustavo, a very, very beautiful piece of Last of Us music that those of you that will play the first game will recognize. And then we hopped right into a lengthy trailer that showed us our first actual gameplay from this game. And you know, The Last of Us is a very special game for me. It's a you know, I talk about it on the podcast a lot, but it to me just showed me another level of what video games can achieve, and they look to be taking it up even to the next level here with The Last of Us Part 2. We saw a game that's incredibly beautiful, incredibly dark, just incredibly brutal. The brutality is notched up to like an 11 here. So with the power of the current generation of consoles, they've really dialed up what they can do with this game here. You know, The Last of Us is not it's not a pretty world. It's a very dark, very disturbing world. There's a lot of nasty things that go on in this world, and that was showcased very powerfully, I think, in this year. So, Brent, what do you think of what we saw from The Last of Us there?
Obviously, we're going to touch on some very serious themes. It's going to be a very violent game. You know, Ellie is a very resourceful woman. She can take care of herself. She's taking on people, but yeah, like you mentioned, it's a beautifully crafted world. Obviously, no one's ever going to question Naughty Dog's ability to create a beautiful world. And then obviously, you know, there's going to be a strong story here. So, you know, we've seen quite a bit of The Last of Us 2 now, and I mean, it's just I just want to play this game. I mean, that's the way it is. The Last of Us Part 1's the same to me as it means the same to me as it does to you. It was a strong story. It hit me in so many ways emotionally, and I was in it the entire time. I was invested into the characters, loved the storytelling. I am really excited for this game. I just want to play it now, dude.
Yeah, we don't know when we're going to get to play it, no dates or anything, but yeah, just seeing that gameplay and seeing what this world actually looks like. Like, this is going to be one of the first games where when you hide in the grass, it actually looks like you're hiding in the grass. Which people can't just see you like in a normal game where you just walk into a grass patch and like you're hidden. Like, it actually looks like you're in the grass with like the foliage and just the way that the world is designed. So, you know, obviously it looks like we're going to continue to get some powerful performances. We did not see Joel in this trailer, which is interesting. So just straight Ellie in this trailer, and Ellie obviously is all grown up now. She's learned some things after being out in this world, and she knows how to survive now on her own. And yeah, it's incredible to see like how her character has developed here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Bender, I know this is not your type of game, so I will move on from you. Frankie, your thoughts on what we saw from The Last of Us Part 2?
Like Brent said, very, very violent. I was kind of surprised. I wasn't I mean, we kind of had an idea coming off of the was it the Paris Games Week? Was that when they showed that really hyper violent trailer?
Oh, with the girl.
It was one of those.
Yeah. So I mean, I had an idea of what to expect, but man, just watching the fluidity in combat. She's running and there's a glass, on the table. She just grabs it and throws it, and just
that
not
was
stopping
awesome.
or anything. So yeah, it's a beautiful looking game. I'm very curious to see what's all going on in this world. Where is Joel? Why didn't we see him?
Mm-hmm.
That's curious to me. But a very, very beautiful looking game.
Yeah, and Brent, the stealth very pronounced here in this trailer with Ellie. We saw her in the foliage, and that's the thing too. As we're watching them play through this section, like you can visualize all the different ways like you could go about this encounter and some of the different things you could do or how you could approach the situations and how things might play out differently. I love the fluidity of the running. The Last of Us. I talk about this sometimes, but an underrated feature in gaming is a good run.
Mm-hmm.
And The Last of Us had a great run, and it looks like The Last of Us Part 2 is gonna have a great run as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this sense of speed and I was just blown away by what we saw. I can't wait to play The Last of Us Part 2 and see what's going on in this world. So very, very strong start to the show. It was a strange setup. They were in this room that was modeled after the scene that we saw from The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they finished out the musical number and the gameplay reveal, then they moved everybody into the main like conference hall where they were gonna have the rest of the show at. In between there, we saw a new game plus announced for God of War. A lot of people looking for that. Then an interesting Call of Duty segment. So the Back in Black 4 maps getting remastered from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Those will be available to you in Black Ops 4 if you pre-order the game as a pre-order bonus. You actually get to use them in Black Ops 3 right now, if I understand that properly.
Yep.
So you pre-order the game, you get the maps in Black Ops 4, but you also get to use them in Black Ops 3 right now. And then this was kind of a big deal, but Black Ops 3 free right now as a PlayStation Plus game, which is surprising. They Call of Duty games almost never.
I can't remember.
They
I don't
never
think
do
that's
anything
ever
with
happened.
those.
I don't think it's ever happened.
They definitely have never been free, and they rarely go below a certain price point. So it's very interesting to see that it's part of Plus. But if you don't have Black Ops 3, go download it for free. Then they went over the highlights, what was announced this week: Tetris Effect, Days Gone's release date, Twin Mirror, Ghost Giant, Beat Saber. A lot of those games look really cool. And then before we got to the main show, they hit us with our first hint of the Destiny 2 story.
Yeah.
And Bungie mentioned that we were going to get our first hints of what was going on with Forsaken in the trailer here.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent, we talked about this on Tower Talk, but at the reveal of Forsaken, they mentioned that this was going to be a little bit of a darker story, a little bit of a darker take on what's going on in the Destiny universe. And we see a trailer that essentially finds the return of Prince Uldren, the Prince of the Awoken. He shows up as anticipated. The hint was dropped in Warmind,
yep.
And we see Prince Uldren show up, and essentially he kills Cade with his own gun, so, with the Ace of Spades, and then he walks away. Now, clearly, Cade is not dead. Cade is a robot, first of all, so it'd be very simple for them to, I think, just rebuild him or figure out a way to make that work. But yeah, Prince Uldren killed his ghost and then knocked out Cade and then just walked away in a very short but very powerful hint at the Forsaken storyline here. Brent, what'd you think of that, dude?
Well, I mean, that's how you get people's attention for a narrative. I mean, we've been saying for a while now, but Destiny is not known for its narrative prowess, but this is kind of a big turn. You're now messing with one of the key pillar characters of Destiny, and that's Cade 6, and Prince Uldren just walks in, puts one in his dome, and carries him off. And this is something that people want. This is going to create an interesting story. Hopefully they're able to deliver on it, maybe delve deeper into it. Hopefully it's not a shallow experience, not as simple as, hey, we'll just build him back up and he's here. Hopefully there's something there. But that's awesome to see Prince Aldrin is alive and well, even though he kind of a dick move, but yeah.
Yeah. So this was already a really interesting setting with the Reef, and now they definitely have our attention and our curiosity at what is going on in the story here. Bender, what'd you think about seeing the return of the Prince, seeing Cade, and seeing our first hints of what we may be seeing when Forsaken arrives in September?
That was a pretty cool little trailer. I liked seeing that. Made me very intrigued to see what the story is going to be for this expansion, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know what else to say. It just looked pretty cool.
Yeah, Frankie, did this one capture your interest as well?
It did. It seems very dark. So I'll be very curious to see where they go with the story in this one. What the hell's happening with Cade? So plus it'll be cool as seeing the Prince back. So very excited to hop into that someday because I'm gonna play Spider-Man and ignore this when it comes out.
So is boys.
So September 4th, Forsaken comes out. September 7th, Spider-Man comes out. That's gonna be a busy week. Busy week. I literally don't know what I'm gonna do with myself.
Can't wait.
So yeah, Destiny, not touch Spider-Man.
Hey, how many times do I have to say stop saying that? Stop putting this negative energy out in the universe, Frankie. All right?
Mr. Negative.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
Moving on. So then we got into the show proper. So we're back into the main arena now, and they kicked things off in here with a bang with Ghost of Tsushima, with what I thought was an incredible display for this game. So we saw a pretty lengthy gameplay segment that took us through a variety of different situations, which I thought was awesome. So they started out, we're with the main character. What's his name?
Jin.
So we're with Jin. We're in the open world, and I mean, we talked about how beautiful The Last of Us looks and how beautiful this Ghost of Tsushima look. These first party Sony games, like we saw God of War earlier this year, how incredible that looked. Horizon, how incredible that looked. But the Ghost of Tsushima looks just stunning. I mean, the guys, Jin's on his horse, are running through this open world. All of the wildlife is reacting to you as you run through this grass that's blowing in the wind. I mean, I wanted to cry. It was so beautiful. It was like, my gosh, there's like the sun's on the horizon setting. I mean, it was an incredible vista for you to run through. So Sucker Punch clearly putting their heart and soul into this world. And then we see Jin come into this combat encounter. So we see the first hints of the kind of dodge and parry and kind of the samurai type of combat system that we'll see in this game. Then we see another segment where it's more of a stealth focused segment where he's kind of maneuvering through this area. We see death from above.
Yes.
We see him kind of moving through with this other AI character trying to approach on this group, and they kind of take them out simultaneously. Then at the end we get this showdown, this samurai showdown, like this classic samurai showdown that seems like it's going to be a part of the game. Obviously an integral part of the samurai lore is the showdown, and we saw that was a really cool sequence where they're going back and forth and dodging and parrying. And so we saw a variety of different things in this trailer. I thought it was a really strong showing for this game. Obviously cannot wait to see more from Sucker Punch and Ghost of Tsushima. Franklin, what'd you think about what we saw, man?
So fucking hyped for this game, man. Like I knew coming in, like, dude, they're gonna show something from Ghost of Tsushima. This is the reason I wanted to watch this conference. I didn't care what else was going on today. I needed to see this, and dude, I was already really excited, but now I cannot contain myself how excited I am for Ghost of Tsushima. Like you're talking about, just like the setting, watching that game in motion, dude, that is gorgeous. I love Sucker Punch. But like even watching like that showdown at the end, just how cinematic it looks. The camera pans out. You have the vista behind you, and it looks like it's going to be.
The leaves are blowing around you, like in the breeze and stuff.
It just looks like it's going to be an epic game, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, it looked like a Kurosawa like samurai film as you're sitting there like engaged in this duel. So yeah, it was really awesome. Bender, what do you think of Ghost of Tsushima, man? Are you gonna be able to wrap your head around the violence in this one? I know it's a little bit of a departure from Infamous.
Yeah, not sure. I mean, I did think it looked like a beautiful game. The story definitely looks intriguing. It has a lot of action. Not sure if it's going to be something I'll want to jump into, but it does look really, really good. I'm excited that it's going to be coming out. But yeah, I don't know. It looks cool though.
Gotcha. Brent, what did you think about what you saw, man?
Oh man, I just want to see that thing on a 4K HDR display, dude. Like you guys have touched on, and the gentleman said at the end of the show that he was talking about the color palette. I mean, the game is just a stunning game with so much going on. There doesn't seem to be any static objects in this world. Everything is in motion. The wind's playing a factor. You are interacting with the world. The combat was brutal. I mean, it was really brutal, but it looked very satisfying. Hopefully for Bender, there's like a turn-off gore, severed limbs, and whatever else is there. Maybe they can make it a little closer to a cleaner game for him. But no, I mean, and you mentioned you touched on the stealth elements. I love when they add stealth to games like this, and in a samurai world, that stealth makes a lot of sense. So you'll be able to plan your attacks. We saw him jump down from the death from above, and he was able to take out like 3 or 4 enemies. So I don't know if there's like an ability.
Yeah, there's a slow motion ability in there. It looked like.
Yeah, so I mean, very rewarding. It looks like it was very rewarding, very epic combat, and like you guys talked about the showdown, that was just badass. Like you said, they panned back, very cinematic. You got the fire arrows coming in, setting everything ablaze. Yeah. It was just a very dramatic sequence, and yeah, I mean that game looks really good. A big time departure from what you're used to in the Infamous games. This is a very more mature game, and the combat just looks incredibly intense.
Yeah, and just taking everything they've learned and worked on with Infamous, with their open world experience, and just taking it to the next level, applying it to this samurai setting. Frankie, what did you think about what we saw from the combat? It looks like it's going to be less of an arcadey style form of combat. It looks like there's going to be a little more strategy, a little more thought that goes into it.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I know you pointed out, it kind of had like a For Honor look to it. You could see as Jin was moving around, you could see him kind of adjusting, his position. So, I wasn't a huge fan of For Honor's combat and just how it worked. So I'm hoping while this is in there, and that's cool, but I hope it's not as like deep as For Honor. Right. I hope it's a little easier to manage, especially if you're playing a scene like that. First person might be a little bit easier to gauge, but as you're kind of panning back and having this epic duel, you don't want to worry about accidentally blocking the wrong way because the camera looked like you're going to get attacked from a different way. So as long as they implement it right, I think that's cool that they're kind of going with a deeper combat system.
Yeah, to me, it looked like they were almost switching between styles. So at one point, they would be, more blocking, more parrying, more of a slower, more calculated approach. And then other times, it was more hack and slash, where they would get into the combos and start, with the flurry of attacks and that kind of stuff. So it looks like almost like you'll be able to kind of judge it and kind of toy with it on the fly. So if they can pull that off, if you can pull off the sweet like arcade style combos and also pull back a little bit to kind of strategize your attacks, I think that would be really cool if they're able to pull something like that off. But yeah, extremely strong showing from Ghost of Tsushima for the first time we got to saw that. So I really liked what we got to saw there. After Ghost of Tsushima, we moved into an interesting segment where we saw some more stuff from third party. First thing we saw was this game Control. So we saw this game pop up on the screen. My first thought when I was watching, I was like, looks very Remedy-ish, looks very Quantum Break-ish, and then as the trailer goes on, it started to get more and more like that. We saw the telekinesis, the combat, the kind of whole vibe of it just screamed Remedy, and sure enough, at the end, Remedy shows up there with 505 games. We see our first look at a game they're calling Control, which I'm guessing is this P7 project or whatever that they've been talking about for a while.
Yes, it is. Actually, and I got some details here. We actually just got the press release for it. This is the game previously known as P7. And basically, here's the description of it. Control is set in a unique and ever-changing world that juxtaposes our familiar reality with the strange and unexplainable welcome to the Federal Bureau of Control. After a secretive agency in New York is invaded by an otherworldly threat, players will take on the role of Jesse Faden, the new director struggling to regain control. This sandbox-style, gameplay-driven experience built on the proprietary Northlight engine challenges players to master a combination of supernatural abilities, modifiable loadouts, and reactive environments while fighting through the deep and mysterious worlds Remedy is known and loved for. And this is a quote from Remedy. Control represents a new, exciting chapter for us. It redefines what a Remedy game is. It shows off our unique ability to build compelling worlds while providing a new, player-driven way to experience them. A key focus for Remedy has been to provide more agency through gameplay and allow our audience to experience the story of the world at their own pace. From our first meetings with Remedy, we've been inspired by the vision and scope of, this is 505 games.
505.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And scope and control, and we are proud to help them bring this game to life and get it into the players' hands. We believe this is going to be another major hit for both our companies on a bigger scale than ever before. Control will arrive on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Steam for PC in 2019. And then you can register at www.controlgame.com for more information and regular updates.
Nice. So planning 2019 for it.
Yep.
Awesome. That's man. 2019 shaping up to be a busy year here in the coming year. But yeah, so Brent, talk to me about what you saw, man. You're a huge Quantum Break fan.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about what we saw from Control in the brief trailer there?
Dude, I was just like, is this Quantum Break? I mean, it seriously looked very, very similar to Quantum Break. Obviously, it'd be a different protagonist, but no, I mean, I really enjoyed the Quantum Break gameplay. I know there was a lot of people that tried to play it like a third-person cover shooter, and that's like the worst thing you can do with that game. You got to use your supernatural abilities or use the abilities you had, the time manipulation in that game. And this one, you're gonna have supernatural abilities. Using all these things is going to be integral to the combat, and that's where you're going to get the most out of it. When you learn everything, you chain them together, use them to take out groups of enemies or change the area that you're in. I'm definitely hyped for this. I was a big fan of Quantum Break. I'm really excited to see what Control is all about, dude. The story sounded interesting right there.
Yeah, Frankie, I think it was a smart move too by Sony to get this game on their stage just to show that, look, Remedy's making games for multiple platforms now, so we are going to have their next game on our platform, so everybody knows. Are you on board with them kind of taking what they did with Quantum Break and building upon that and kind of expanding that for their next game?
Yeah, like Brent said, once you started playing Quantum Break the way that it was meant to be played, that's where that game really opened up. It was really fun. So seeing them kind of build on that and take those different abilities and, expand it and, maybe give it a little more life with this new game.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm excited. Like I said, Quantum Break was awesome. So getting more of a game like that from them, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I still need to play Quantum Break at some point, so I'll have to remedy that.
Good night, everybody, and that's it for the stream. Boyce is drunk.
In the near future here, but Bender, you were also a big fan of Quantum Break. You intrigued by what we saw from Control here?
Yeah, definitely. I thought Control looked really, really cool. And yeah, I loved Quantum Break. I thought it was a lot of fun. I like the story on it and everything. So to have another game where you have, any game where you have like superpowers and stuff like that, I'm way into that sort of thing. So this game looks really, really cool. So I'll definitely be intrigued by interested in seeing more of it.
Yeah, definitely. I like when she took the forklift and threw it. That was awesome. With her mind. Yeah, so that was Control. Very interesting looking title for Remedy. Then we got our next taste of some third party goodness with Resident Evil 2. So it was a cool trailer. They started from the view of this mouse. He was like moving through the area, and then eventually this shell falls on the mouse, and then we pan back. We see a zombie eating a dude, and at that moment, Frankie knew it was like Resident Evil 2. And we see Leon shoot the zombie from the distance there, and then we see a completely reimagined Resident Evil 2. Just to see this game that I remember playing on the PlayStation 1 look like it does now in its current form. Obviously coming to current gen consoles. We got a release date for it as well, 1/25/19. So Q1 once again, just shaping up to be extremely, extremely busy. But Franklin, your prediction came true, dude. Resident Evil 2, it's coming, and it's coming in January, no less. What'd you think about that, man?
I'm excited. I never got to play Resident Evil 2, but I've always heard it's one of the best Resident Evils made. I know Hideki Kamiya was behind this one, so really excited to finally experience what Resident Evil 2 was in reimagined for today, because playing those old Resident Evil games was not fun. Like they're very hard to go back to. So very excited. I think that's a good time for it. I think Resident Evil games typically launch in January, so that's about where I would expect it to fall. I wasn't, however, expecting to get a date even though we're expecting January. From everything we've heard of this game prior to today, it didn't sound like it was that far in development. So,
surprise.
Yeah, right. So that is freaking awesome. Man, finally got 1 point. 1 point this year.
Yeah, I didn't think the first time that we saw this game we'd have a release date tag to it. But Brent, Resident Evil 7 came out around that same time, did extremely well.
Yep.
So you think Capcom's going to have another hit on their hands here with Resident Evil 2, shooting it in at that same window?
Oh, I'm sure they will. Like Frankie said, there's a lot of people that are going to be really excited about this. They did mention afterwards that this is going to play similar to Resident Evil 4, the controls over-the-shoulder style. So they're going to be adding in that. No, I never played Resident Evil 2. I actually never even really heard of it until recently when people started talking about this. And it sounds like, I really didn't get too far into the franchise after 1. I really enjoyed 1, loved 5, really liked 7, but I never got to experience like 2, 3, and whatever else was in there. So it'll be cool to be able to actually hop into this and reimagine this reboot version. It looks fantastic from what we saw. And I'm hyped. I love Resident Evil. It's 7 really just got me back on track with the franchise. I mean, 7 was such an excellent addition. I'll be interested to jump into Resident Evil 2.
What's really interesting to me was just the way that the whole Capcom, both of their announcements panned out. Like I'm pretty sure all of us would have expected to see this on Microsoft stage and Devil May Cry on the PlayStation stage.
Right.
So that was crazy.
Yeah. So Resident Evil 2 looking very good. I was shocked that we got the date on it too. So that was really awesome. From there we saw Trover Saves the Universe, the newest game from Squanch Games. This is Justin Roiland and his group. This game will be debuting on it'll be a timed exclusive on PS4 and PSVR. And I'll tell you what, man, I've said this before, but Counting Plus was an awesome PlayStation VR experience from Squanch Games. So if they're able to take that experience and graft it onto Trover Saves the Universe, then I think we're in for a game that's gonna be really cool as well. Bender, you're a big Rick and Morty, big Justin Roiland fan. What do you think about what we saw from Trover Saves the Universe and Bathtub Man?
I love Bathtub Man. It was cool. I love that. I love that trailer. It looks like a fun game. It's got that Justin Roiland humor where he's just, you can tell he's just, when he records his voiceover parts, he's just making stuff up off the top of his head, and it's always hilarious. Yeah. It's like, somebody called 711 because that's the number you call in this wacky weird universe. I was like, okay, I'm in. Yeah, this sounds like it's going to be a good time, and I still haven't played Accounting Plus, but I definitely want to play that. And
play it, man.
Yeah, this game looks like it's going to be just wacky and fun.
Did you get Rick and Morty VR?
No, I never actually picked it up, so still need to get that one too.
Fear the Beard in the chat, love Bathtub Man. He also said, "Hey, what's up, guys? Ghost of Tsushima looks sick." So yes, Fear the Beard. We had a nice little segment on that. It looked great, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Nice.
Yeah, just so you know, Bender, the collector's edition of Rick and Morty has been dropping rapidly. It's on Amazon now, I think, for $25.
Oh,
so if you're interested in it,
nice. I'll have to pick
maybe take a look at that. Frankie, it looked to me like there were some like third-person segments in this game. When they were showing whatever that pink dude was running around. It looks like maybe this would be a little bit of a different experience than Accounting Plus, which was fully first-person.
Right. I know they're actually, because I was watching the rest of their the stuff after the Spider-Man stuff cut, and they were kind of showing a sizzle reel for VR, and this game came up. It said VR mode included. So from what I'm gathering, this game itself, there's a playable regular, PlayStation 4 game in there to play too. So I'm not sure what's included in the VR experience, but I would be surprised if it's the third-person stuff that we saw. That seems like not VR.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I caught that too.
Gotcha.
Did they happen to show anything in that sizzle reel, Frankie, of Firewall?
Yes.
And no data or anything on it, though?
No, they showed the schedule for stuff that they have coming up for the week, so there's going to be a couple Firewall things. I don't know what all these things entail, but we'll see more, Concrete Genie's in there. There's just a placeholder that says Square Enix title. So considering their conference already happened, I don't know what the hell... that's strange, but
Yeah, I really enjoyed the PlayStation show last year, like the little 15-minute segments they did with the games. Like we saw some good stuff in there from the games, from the developers. So I'll definitely try to check some of that stuff out. Yeah. So moving on from Trover, we saw another trailer for Kingdom Hearts 3. This is a completely new trailer though. We saw the Pirates of the Caribbean world unveiled for I believe the first time that we've seen this one. We saw Captain Jack Sparrow in there, and the whole cast of the film was in there. If the dude playing Captain Jack is not Johnny Depp, he sounds a lot like him.
He does.
Yeah, he has the voice spot on if it's not him. So yeah, a really cool trailer. We saw some snippets from some of the other worlds in there as well. Once again, this game will release on January 29th. It continues to look really good. I thought the Pirates of the Caribbean section looked really fun. There's some fun looking combat. There's some naval combat in there as well. So it looks like there's going to be quite the variety of things to do in Kingdom Hearts 3. They also unveiled a PS4 Pro edition of Kingdom Hearts 3 a Kingdom Hearts 3 PS4 Pro system will be available. I'm guessing at the same time that the game comes out as well. They also showed this all-in-one bundle. Now, was this all of the games in some type of bundle you can purchase? Yeah. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. So basically, you can get the entire Kingdom Hearts saga if you so choose once Kingdom Hearts 3 arrives in this all-in-one bundle. We don't have any pricing information or anything on that, but yeah, that will be a thing. So moving on from Kingdom Hearts, then we get to the Death Stranding portion of the show. So we saw once again a lengthy trailer for the game. So we saw Norman Reedus. We saw some of the other characters. I'm sorry, I forget the name of the actresses who are in there with him right now. But we saw Norman Reedus. We actually did see some legitimate gameplay from this game too. So we saw some traversal and clearly Kojima like utilizing the Decima engine to its fullest. Once again, another game that just looks stunning. Some of the Rocky Mountains and vistas that they had there were really beautiful. So we saw some more mysterious things with these apparitional type of creatures that have the strands that connect them. They're invisible. Obviously, they sense motion via sound. So they have to try to be quiet. So we saw some stealth segments based around that, which definitely looked like gameplay at that time. We saw Norman using that weird baby to to do stuff. So the baby made an appearance again. We saw some things. Give me your hand in life. Give me your hand in death. Give me your hand in flesh. Give me your hand in spirit. So there's different clues that I'm sure the Kojima conspiracy theorists will start to put all that stuff together and try to figure out what we got here. But definitely, obviously Kojima made his mark with Metal Gear, which is a stealth game at its core, and definitely seems like stealth is going to be at the center of the gameplay in Death Stranding. So it continues to look like this crazy wild sci-fi world that Kojima's putting together. But Brent, your thoughts on Death Stranding?
Again, it's a beautiful looking game. There's no doubt about it. And we got to see gameplay, but we didn't get to see anything like super interesting. I mean, he's climbing this area. He's exploring this massive area. We see the section where he's trying to go through stealthy with these apparitions in the air. But again, it's still another very cryptic trailer. And like you mentioned, there's going to be people that are going to mine this trailer over and over and over again and see what they can pull from it. But I do hope at this point, if this is in fact a 2019 title or shortly after 2020, I'm really hoping at PlayStation Experience we're gonna get like I don't even need a deep dive in gameplay. I need a deep dive at what's going on, what the premise of the game is. The premise of the story, and why we're doing what we're doing. And I understand that Kojima likes to play his cards close to the vest, and I get that. But I think at this point we've had 4 cryptic trailers now that have just kind of like shown maybe a smidge more than the last one. I think we're at this time. Let's get an idea of what this story is.
Bender, what do you think about what we saw?
I thought it looked really impressive. Definitely some beautiful graphics going on there. It was interesting to see some new characters and some actual gameplay. Still, like Brian was saying, still would love to know exactly what this game is and what it's about and all that stuff. But it was really interesting. This game continues to intrigue me. So I'll be interested to see more whenever they're ready to show it. But this was pretty cool to see what we saw.
Yeah. Frankie?
Yeah, like Bender said, it was really cool finally seeing this game in motion and kind of seeing like the stealth elements, with that little weird thing he was walking around with that kind of shows these invisible enemies around him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
the clapper thing.
Yeah. So, but I'm hitting a point with this game where I don't want them rolling him out on stage anymore. Like we've seen all these trailers, we've now seen some gameplay. Still have no idea what the hell this game even is, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I want this to be the last time. The next time they show us this game, I want a date. I want like a story trailer. I want to know what the hell this is. Just stop wheeling him out there and let him finish the damn game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of just what Kojima does, love him or hate him. This is how he does his stuff. He does these mysterious reveals, and he builds up this long just mystery and conspiracy theories, and this is the stuff that he likes to do. This is how he reveals his games. So it's just part of being a Kojima joint. Personally, I like this mysterious stuff. I do agree that at some point we're gonna have to get a little bit more of an idea of what the game is, and part of this game is going to be the mystery.
Oh yeah,
like that's good. That's going to be the fine line that they have to figure out how to walk with this. This is a mysterious game. It's supposed to be a mysterious game. It's supposed to be a game that we get in there and we find out, what's going on and this crazy story and whatnot. So they've got to figure out how to show us what this game is and what exactly we're going to be doing in this without revealing the mysteries of this game that we're gonna be diving into and figuring out what it's all about. So I enjoy. Yeah,
so I was going to say, and I agree with Optic Ghost in the chat. He said, there might be a deep dive into Death Stranding and PlayStation experience. I think that's exactly what we're going to get in terms of maybe a narrative description. So yeah, I think PlayStation experience is something we got to keep an eye on for this game.
Yeah, and I don't have the answers on how the best way to do this is, but yeah, maybe showing us like an actual like just extended just gameplay segment, maybe somewhere in the beginning of the game, just to give us an idea of what this game is going to be about. Like, is this a stealth game? Is this an action game? Like, what exactly is this game? What goes into it? Is this going to play similar to Metal Gear, just in this very weird horror sci-fi setting that they're creating here? So I definitely think that we can go back to Kojima's roots and find some of the things that he does well and things that he likes to do. I think some of that stuff is going to be. I think there will be stealth. There will be action segments. But yeah, we just need to know a little bit more about what exactly we're doing in this game, and they've just got to figure out a way to do it where they keep the mystery about this, so we're still wondering what's going on with these creatures and this world that we're in. But yeah, at this point, we just need to know like what we're doing in the game. I think that's really what they need to get at.
Yep.
But yeah, I remain incredibly intrigued by this game. I'm a big Kojima fan. Some of the early Metal Gear games are some of my favorite games of all time. So I can't wait to see more about Death Stranding and what becomes of this, because just the way his mind works is just crazy. So, I just love following this guy and just seeing what he comes up with. So love him or hate him, this is the Death Stranding that he's creating, and I can't wait to see what eventually becomes of it. So after Death Stranding, we moved into a surprise announcement here for Neo 2. Just kind of came out of the blue. I was talking to you guys on the stream there, and I was like, man, I feel like the first Neo just came out. Like, we just finished up the DLC for the first Neo, so the fact that there's already a Neo 2 in production and it's ripping and roaring, that's interesting. But it was a very popular game. A lot of people really like Neo. I'll tell you what, from what I've played in Neo, I thought it was an awesome game. It's something that I want to get back to and play some more of. I thought it was really, really well done, taking that Dark Souls formula and putting it into a samurai type of a setting. Frankie, what was your thought when you saw Neo 2 announced, man? It was a bit of a surprise, right?
Yeah, especially coming off of From announcing their game that looked just like a Neo game the other day.
Yeah, so we got Sekiro and Neo 2 in the pipeline now.
Yeah, that's wild. I know that the first Neo was in development for a really long time, so part of me wonders if this game is really coming anytime soon. If this is a PlayStation 5 title, I don't know. But I'm glad that we're going to get more Neo. I know that game did very well, so it's very cool to see Team Ninja making another one of those.
Yeah. Did you ever play any Neo, Brent?
Dude, just like the first area. I never really got into it.
Yeah. So, Yeah, so an interesting surprise reveal there, and that led us into the finale of the show with Spider-Man, and I mean, seriously, this sequence was just incredible, man. So if this is the way the set pieces are gonna play out in this game, then I'm gonna need to keep a change of pants like on hand at all times while playing this game.
Oh boy,
this segment was so awesome. You know, the sequence we saw last E3 with the Mr. Negative helicopter chase was awesome. Loved it, and this segment just was awesome as well. So we saw the villains this time. So we saw Spider-Man. He's heading over to the Raft, which is a prison in the Marvel universe, and Electro's running amok. So he's trying to figure out what's going on with Electro, trying to stop him. And Electro causes this prison break, so it frees all the prisoners. And of course, among those ranks are some of Spidey's most notorious villains. So Rhino, Vulture, Scorpion. Mr. Negative himself makes an appearance along with Electro. So he's dealing with all 5 of these guys simultaneously as you're going through this segment. And the combat, awesome, fluid, just Spider-Man kicking ass. Looks like they took the Batman style of combat and just fitted it onto Spider-Man to a T. It looks incredibly fluid in motion. The traversal in this game, though, just how seamlessly Spidey gets from one point to the next. They've really, just from what I've seen, obviously I haven't held the controller and played the game, but they've really captured the essence of the agility of Spider-Man in the way that they've constructed this game. So my hat's off to Insomniac. From what I've seen, they've done an incredible job at translating Spider-Man in the movies and in the comics into video game form. But just the chase, the when he's chasing Electro through the raft, that sequence was awesome. Yeah. I mean, just awesome. And he's fighting all of his villains at the same time. And then we get to the end, and they're kind of all surrounding him. And then there's a surprise reveal off camera that they don't show. And then the trailer cuts. I'm just like, ugh. that seriously, that was a spectacular way to end the show. At Spider-Man. I mean, September 7th, man. Just can't get here fast enough. Bender, talk to me about that Spider-Man trailer, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm every bit as pumped as you are for this game. I loved what we saw. It was just epic and exciting to watch. It was fun to watch. I love that Spider-Man was cracking wise like he always does.
Yeah, he's constantly talking.
Yeah. Hey, Scorpion, I was on a phone call. It was business. Can you just wait a minute? And I love the different moves that he has. The slide under the legs move where you can get behind someone and just hit them from behind and just wed people to the wall, running up the walls, all that stuff. Super cool. I love their Insomniac's different spin on the villains. They all looked a little bit differently than we've seen them before, which was really cool. Like that they're kind of giving it their own spin to the Spider-Man universe. Just everything looked amazing. The like you said, the set pieces looked just epic and fantastic, and just lots of action. Everything like very fast paced. I just can't wait for this game. It's gonna be my game of the year for sure. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm there with you. Yeah, just that's a good point, Bender. Just the fluidity of the motion, even between scenes. So how fast you move from a combat sequence into a chase sequence, into another combat sequence, into a cinematic, like whatever. Everything's just constantly moving that we've seen in this game. It's just the locomotion in this game is a huge focus, clearly from Insomniac, and I love that about the game. Gives it a different feel than the Batman games, where you would get to an encounter, you would take out a group of enemies with these like hard-hitting, brutal attacks, and then you'd slink your way through the shadows into your next move. And that's not Spider-Man. He's fast-paced, always moving, and we see that in the way these set pieces have been playing out. Frankie, what you think about what we saw from Spidey?
Dude, I cannot wait to play this game. That's the last day off I have for this year, I think. So that's my last option day. So I'm just gonna play Spider-Man Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Probably call off and be sick on Monday. So yeah, I cannot wait. Just watching that thing in action. The style of the game is gorgeous. Swinging around looks like it's going to be a ton of fun, which is arguably the most important thing you have to get right in Spider-Man. The web slinging has to feel good, and this looks like it feels great. Bender was talking about, the similarity with the Batman combat, which is so awesome. That's the thing that makes the Batman games great, in my opinion, is just that fantastic fluid combat, and seeing Spider-Man juggling people up in the air, web slinging down, grabbing things, throwing them at people. It just looks like it's going to be nonstop chaos, and I cannot wait. It's going to be so great.
Yeah.
I'll tell you all about it, Ben. I'll tell you all about it.
Damn it, Franklin. And I love too how during those combat sequences, sometimes Spider-Man doesn't even touch the ground. Like he's knocking guys up into the air. He goes up, he's webbing them, punching him in the face, swinging over to the next guy, bouncing off of him. It looks like there's a lot of stuff to do in the combat that looks really, really fun. Brent, I mean, what better way to end the show, man, than with that awesome sequence there in the raft?
Yeah, I really liked this demo because it showed us a lot of stuff. It showed us a lot of the combat interior. I mean, inside that prison, we got to see close quarter combat. And then, as you mentioned, we saw the big set piece outside the prison as he's chasing Electro around. He got parts of the prison just seamlessly falling apart in front of him. He's got to dodge and swing around it. So we got to see that. And then as Optic Ghost mentioned, and we saw it after the press conference, we got to see it kind of like the open world traversal. We got to see Spider-Man just swinging through New York City at his leisure, and you could see like certain waypoints around the city. I like the fact that we did answer the question. Yes, Spider-Man can touch the ground, sticks the superhero landing, and he interacts with the citizens. He walks by one, gives them a quick salute. So, I mean, it was really cool. We got to see a lot of elements of this game. We got to see a lot of different areas of the game. But, yeah, the combat looked awesome. I mean, it looked fantastic. Hopefully they can tweak up some of the things so we don't see people falling to their death, because Spider-Man's supposed to say, everybody gets one. Spider-Man always says it. And so, yeah, we did have a couple of obvious deaths. But, I mean, even in the long haul things, I'm not going to be really paying attention, but I do hope they can kind of clean that up a little bit. But small nitpick, everything we saw here looked fantastic. Really excited for Spider-Man.
Yeah. I thought they mentioned last year that he was going to be webbing people when they flew over the edge. Maybe I just made that up. But
he grabbed a couple.
Yeah, he grabbed a couple. Maybe there was one. Maybe he said something about his Uncle Ben. He was like, "I ain't saving this dude. This guy's a prick, man."
Could be.
Yeah, I like all the little touches too, and you touched on it there, Brent. Like the just like Bender mentioned, where he's just always talking, or when he sticks the superhero landing, he waves to like the citizens. Like that's the kind of stuff that Spider-Man does. So it's clear that Insomniac has done their homework. Like they're clearly invested in Spider-Man. This just feels like Spider-Man. They brought in comic book writers to work on the story. Like we've seen they've talked about there's a ton of villains in this game, and now we see a few of them front and center here. So they've got the classic Spider-Man villains in here. As a longtime comic book fan and Spider-Man being one of my favorites from Marvel, like seriously couldn't be any more excited about this game. Man, that's gonna be an awesome week with Destiny 2, Forsaken, and Spider-Man. I mean, seriously.
Not for you, it isn't, but yeah, it's going to be a great week.
I hate you guys. I hate everyone. All right, fellas. So let's put a bow on the show then. We did also in the after show, From Software revealed the new VR game called Deracine.
Yeah.
Or Deracine. Some kind of a story-focused VR game, which is a huge departure from what we've seen from them from the Souls games. We don't know anything about it other than that. But yeah, let's put a bow on this. Frankie, your thoughts on the PlayStation conference as a whole?
As a whole, I was actually kind of underwhelmed by a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff I was really hoping to see here from third parties, not Sony. I didn't come in here expecting more, stuff from worldwide studios or anything. I think not having something with Dreams for release date's a missed opportunity, considering that was, they used the game as like, the kind of segment filler between each thing they did. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, just the VR presence is really cool, but I felt like they could have crammed a couple more things in, during that weird transition period. Mm-hmm. I don't really fully understand what the point of that was, instead of just making goofy small talk. But outside of that, the stuff that we saw, Ghost of Tsushima, god damn it, I cannot wait to play that game. It's that, regardless of the rest of the conference, like this made the whole thing worth it to me. And Spider-Man 2, I cannot wait to get my hands on Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure it'll be probably my number 2 game of the year behind Monster Hunter. So very excited to get my hands on that. Still not really interested in Death Stranding. But the other thing that I'm still curious about was, we didn't really see any indie games again. Mm-hmm. And this is something that they said they were going to have this year. It was, oh, yeah, there'll be some indies this year. And I don't think we saw any. So, but outside of that,
we saw Trover. That was the
I suppose.
Game.
I don't know. I don't consider him an indie studio, but you have Justin Roiland money, you can fund whatever you want, I assume. But the other thing too, and the one thing I was kind of expecting but wasn't sure we were going to see was Remedy's game. I'm really happy to see that they're sticking with a style very similar to Quantum Break. It's a game that I think a lot of people need to play. It's excellent. So go out and play Quantum Break, or just buy Control when that comes out, because it looks like it's going to be a good time. So, kind of disappointed we didn't see some more third-party stuff, but overall, I'm very excited for the first-party stuff that's coming. And, yeah, about all I got. It's good stuff.
Okay. Bender?
Overall, I thought it was a really good press conference. I was kind of expecting there to be more games shown, because I mean, when you think about the last couple of years, they just it was like game after game after game after game. Although I know they did say beforehand that they were going to show these 4 games and do a real deep dive into those, which was cool to see. But I would have liked a few more announcements, but honestly, they could have showed me that Spider-Man trailer and nothing else, and I would have been happy. But it was cool to see all that other stuff. I think Control looks awesome. I want to play Trover. I want to learn more about some of these other games as well. But those were kind of the standouts for me.
Yeah, and I think for me, like what you guys are saying is exactly why I really enjoyed this show. I went into this show with I didn't really know what to expect. So my expectations were just different, because I knew this was going to be a different type of show than we've seen in the past. The PlayStation's been saying it for weeks. Like, look, this is a different type of show. We're showcasing these 4 games, and that's going to be like the bulk of the show. So I didn't know what we were going to get in terms of third party or any of that kind of stuff. I didn't think there would be any other first party stuff, because they already said as much. So I didn't expect to see Dreams or any of that kind of stuff here. So I went in with no expectations other than to see those 4 games. And the fact that we got a Remedy game, and we got a Neo 2, and we got Resident Evil 2 and Trover and some of that other stuff thrown in there, to me was just icing on the cake. And some of those games are pretty big. Like Remedy's game is big. Resident Evil 2 is big. So to see those games revealed here, I wasn't expecting anything of like a huge deal from the third party. So just from the way that my expectations were set for the conference, I thought it made it more enjoyable, because I wasn't expecting anything out of it, just seeing those other games show up there. And obviously, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, Spider-Man. These are all games I'm incredibly, incredibly excited to get my hands on and play. So to see 4 of my most anticipated games like on the screen and being able to like take a deep dive into them, like that was awesome for me. So I enjoyed the show. Brent.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually had high expectations for this, because I knew what 4 games they were going to dive into. So I had very high expectations. And I thought they delivered on the most part. The Death Stranding one, again, I just want to know more about the game. I mean, it's another cryptic one. I'd say out of the big 4, Death Stranding was the most, I wouldn't say it was underwhelming. It was just kind of like, it wasn't up to snuff with the other ones. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima was incredible. That looked really good. Last of Us 2 looks like it's coming along swimmingly. It looks great. Spider-Man looked absolutely incredible. So Death Stranding was kind of like the odd man out in terms of like which ones really stood out. But yeah, the third-party stuff, I mean, that was cool seeing Remedy there. It was cool seeing Resident Evil 2 and all that jazz. I mean, my expectations were we're going to see these big 4 games. And, whatever else was there was going to be there. So the big 4, really, really strong showing, with Death Stranding kind of being the one that was kind of like, could have been probably a little bit better. But overall, in terms of what I was expecting from the show, I got what I wanted. I don't think it was their best show. I think that little segment after Last of Us and before they got into the rest of it, presented a pacing issue. But, I mean, once they got back to the main setting, then it was like a typical PlayStation show that we expect, where it's just boom, 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 boom. And I like that. But, yeah, I didn't like that segment, how it went from Last of Us to that, the small talk. I mean, even though they put in some reveals in there, that's fine. I would have just liked to have seen it in the arena on the big screen, and maybe you could have got a couple more games in there in between the small talk.
Yeah, it was a very strange decision. But, yeah, once they got rolling, I thought it was really, really enjoyable once they spent that hour or whatever, like banging everything out. So that is going to do it for us. So we will be back tomorrow with more reactions to Nintendo and everything else that's going on. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, leaving comments, getting involved in the live videos, all that kind of stuff. We want to hear from you guys. So other than that,
one last thing. Just to remind everybody, we haven't really delved into it yet, but podcast episode is going to be 162. I think it's 162.
Yep.
Episode 162 this Saturday night will be live. Going forward, Short Pause Gaming Podcast will be on Saturday night. We're going to be aiming for like a 10:30. We're going to still try to lock down the time, but 10:30 Saturday nights live, wherever you want to watch it, whether it's on YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, or Facebook. We'll be live on all 4 of those channels. So make sure you subscribe to whatever channel you want to subscribe to. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that little bell next to the subscribe button so you get that notification when we go live. But going forward, Short Pause Gaming Podcast will be a live podcast. Yes, there will still be an audio podcast uploaded on Sundays. We will still be on iTunes and all the other platforms that we're on. But just a brief announcement. We'll get into it a little bit later. We'll have a post going up on the site kind of explaining why we're doing this. But yes, Short Pause Gaming Podcast, Saturday night, will be live going forward.
Of course, you'll still be able to watch the video on demand as you have it in the past. So everything will still be the same, except you'll be with us live as we're recording the show. So other than that, that is going to do it for this night. A very busy day in the video game community with E3. So we got more stuff to come tomorrow. So thanks to everybody who stopped by. Optic, Jacob, everybody who stopped by in the chat.
Dark Shadow Wolf, Fear the Beard, everybody was in there tonight. Always good seeing you guys.
Appreciate all you guys stopping by. So for Brent, for Frankie, for Bender, I'm Ben. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you guys.